Good morning, everyone. It is really early today. And I thought, I'll better get this out of the way. Time just flies right now. It's with the children, we're constantly behind. We're behind lunch, we're behind snack, we're behind, okay, food seems to be kind of our stations and during the day. Um, it's getting hot. Yes, though I was already outside and it's cool. It's cool, a cool morning, but it's getting hot. Yes, so yep, the pool's getting a lot of use. uh, love. Love is supposed to be the weapon to peace. A weapon. Love as a weapon. Ooh. Um, I had this thought. People are aware of, or when either a father or a mother, that means there are children, leaves, right, for something better, and leaves the spouse and children behind. Oh, I don't love the mother anymore. Oh, I don't love my wife anymore. Or I don't love my husband anymore, or whatever. Not talking about an abusive relationship where, yeah, you better get out of there, right? Or something. I'm talking just, you know, the in love kind of phase has gone, left the building, and there's nothing left. There was never really love then. There was just being in love, right? Yes, a momentary kind of exhilaration, a state of being, right? A high, I call it. Then I have to say that the one that abandons the family, his own family, her own family, then you can't love your children either. Then you don't know what love is. Because if you truly would love your children, then you would make it past that just in love and find that love, that attraction, or a deeper attraction that then leads to actual love and true love with your spouse. You would. And you would give up anything and everything around you that would try to distract you or lead you astray from that. Yes? It's kind of a simple way of just looking at the whole picture and what love is, right? Love's not something that's in a way visible, except for when you see two people in a way, or the give and take with a parent with a child, right? Yes, or the give and take between two people. That, yeah. Oh, that's love. Yeah, that's, you see a moment, right? A moment of what? Unity. But is that love? Is it always like that? I'm always a little skeptical when I see people displaying love per se in public, where say, oh, yeah, I don't know. So, what does this look like at home? Right? I have to say, in my life, there have been several people that I have to say I have great, do I love them? I have great respect for, I admire, right? Probably don't know them well enough to love them. I mean, even as just a person that wants to love mankind. To me, that's different. The whole of on what we are as a species to love that, right? Oh, that's a love that I, I want to be a part of because of what? Because Heavenly Parent created us, created everything, created us in His image, her image. Do you know what I mean? And that is something that I would like to embrace, to understand it better. And then of course if I do that, how then I give the love that I have felt from spirit world through 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 parents. That's a way to give love back. If I'm trying to truly embrace mankind, right? And of course, teach mankind. Oh, yeah, there goes my ego. Hey, look, people don't like that. I'm telling you what, that was one thing about True Father. I'd say, man, that guy has an ego. I don't think I've ever seen an ego that far up. Right? He was so self assured, he was so confident in what he was doing and teaching. And even when he said, okay, well, I thought that was the right way, but then I realized it wasn't. So now we're going in another direction. Right? I was fine with that because he acknowledged that, okay, he wasn't faultless. There were things he had to figure out as well. But again, when it came down to it, you have to have a great ego to be able to acknowledge when you're also wrong, right? And then say, but I found another way, another solution. Yes? Huh? And True Mother, I don't know. As long as I've known True Mother, yes, from afar mostly, though I've sat in the same room with her several times, I know she's accepted a gift that I've made for her. And the, the give and take there that I've had with True Parents was fabulous. It it's though how does one build a foundation like that with just an individual out there that says, man, I've heard and I'm hooked and I want to do all this and be there and yes, and continue on regardless, no matter what comes my way in negativity, whatever surrounds all this. I'm not going to be steered in another direction anymore. Right? Ever again. I'm sticking with that because my foundation with True Parents isn't just reading the Divine Principle and a few speeches and, and then I go to the blessing and then the ancestor liberation and all this other stuff that I mean, with my brothers and sisters in faith and what we've all done and, yeah, and teaching people and going visiting church and witnessing, yeah, and all that, gaining spiritual children and I don't know what, yeah, yes. I have a foundation with True Parents. First generation. Personally. A give and take with both of them in a way that no one's going to take that from me. It's not going to happen. The foundation is too strong. The give and take that I've had with father, with mother, with both of them together is too strong to be destroyed or to be shaken in any way. Is that love? I consider that filial piety. Not only that, again, the respect that I feel, the admiration that I have, that surrounds all of that. the embrace of Heavenly Parent that I feel in all of that is priceless. It's just priceless. Mm, it's interesting how many people have met true parents. As a first generation, I'm talking now. And um, in my immediate surroundings, yes, my husband's family, there were at least 3 people that were very closely associated with true parents, part of the movement. I came later as a spouse. And okay, and I've said this before, after we had our first child, I said, we've got to go somewhere. I know how, even though it was Catholic, and but I had a lot of good, I gained a good foundation of faith there as well. I want that for our children. And my husband said, well, the only church I'm going to is the Unification Church. And I'm going, oh my gosh, what is that? Never heard of it before. Growing up in Switzerland, never heard of true parents. And of course, the first thing after I tried, oh, okay, let me get a little information about this church. I met, I didn't speak very well English either, so it was very difficult to get information. But I had a friend that I met in California who was from Austria. And she spoke very well English. And she was already married and had a child, this and that. And I told her, and she's like, oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. She says, oh, no, this is really, really bad. That's a cult, this and that. I'm going, really? Oh. Of course, now my interest was piqued. My husband's into what? Well, he's never. We already had a child. We'd been married for 1.5 years. Yeah, or even longer, 2 years. And I'm going, well, um, I don't, I don't, I don't know. He didn't seem to be all that involved. So that though he was at the Washington Monument, yeah. And so were the other 2 in his family, brother and sister. Longer story short, after all this time, I'm the only one who's still dedicated. Mm. So you could say 1 out of 4, 1 out of 4, uh, stayed true. It wasn't just a, oh yeah, walk through kind of thing, then to the next. Yeah. Mm, is that love? Finding that love? Dedication. Love. So many, it's like love is in the middle. There's so many other words. Commitment, dedication, unity, harmony, peace. Yes, so many words that one can filial piety, conjugal love. Yes, okay. All these things that surround love, then love becomes more visible. Yes? Oh. Anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about this morning because I find it interesting when people assume one loves or doesn't love, right? Or hates or doesn't hate. Right? So who can truly answer that or be the judge of that except only for oneself? Huh? Yes? We know if we're true or if we just, that's it. You can't love your children if you abandon them and abandon the spouse. you can. I don't believe that. I don't believe that one can have both. Something to think about for people out there. Anyway. So I don't believe that true father would ever abandon true mother. Done. I had to say that. Yeah. So we're in the book of Tobit 9, the wedding feast. Then Tobias turned to Raphael. Oh, now it's Raphael. Brother Azarias, he said. So Tobias turned to Raphael, but he addresses him as Azarias. Okay. Take 4 servants and 2 camels and leave for Rags. Go to Gabriel's house, give him the receipt, and see about the money. Then invite him to come with you to my wedding feast. You know that my father must be counting the days and that I cannot lose a single one without worrying him. You see what Raguel has pledged himself to do. I am bound by his oath. Mm-hmm. So Raphael left for Rags in Media with the 4 servants and 2 camels. What kind of oath? Oh, about the half of his death, and then the other half when he and oh yeah, I wanted to mention. I find this really tale. I hope it's not just a tale. Really interesting because we have commandment: Thou shalt honor father and mother, thy father and thy mother. Yes, that's one of the 10 commandments given by God as part of the covenant with the Israelites. And Raguel says, let's see over here. He says, when he tells Tobias that he will give him half of it, and then when he and his wife have passed away, he'll get the rest of it. It's not, and when I pass away, then you inherit the rest, plus my wife. He didn't say that, right? I find it interesting on how things are just done properly here, right? In this story, in a way, right? When it comes to certain things, where I'd say, yeah, that's what I want to see. Where wives aren't just being treated as another what? Goat or heifer or to give away or to be discarded or, right? Like they're not a part of it. And Rockwell here, with his wife Edna, found that right in the way that he expresses on how the inheritance will go to Tobias eventually. All right. So, you see, that reminded me of, I thought, oh, I should have said that yesterday. I forgot about that. And I was reminded again here. So Raphael left for Rags in Media with the 4 servants and 2 camels. They stayed with Gabriel, and Raphael showed him the receipt. He told him about the marriage of Tobias, son of Tobit. Raphael is Azarias. Okay, well, Raphael is with Azarias as a companion in spirit, guide. Okay, I have to mention that again. Possession? No. Good spirits don't do that. He told him about the marriage of Tobias, son of Tobit, and gave him his invitation to the wedding feast. Gabriel started counting out the sacks to him. The seals were intact, and they loaded them onto the camels. Early in the morning they set off together for the feast and reached Raguel's house where they found Tobias dining. He rose to greet Gabriel, who burst into tears and blessed him with the words, "Excellent son of a father beyond reproach, just and generous in his dealings. The Lord give heaven's blessing to you, to your wife, to your wife's father and mother. Blessed be God for granting me the sight of this living image of my cousin Tobit." Wow. And that is it. That's it. That's all of 9. So what are we talking about? What should we talk about here besides? Okay, another one of the Ten Commandments, right? Hmm. Is right? Well, there's more than one where you don't get jealous, or rather, you don't view the uh, the wealth of someone else, right? Where you don't, yes, try to, okay. And here, Gabriel, here is okay. Azarias with Raphael in tow or ahead, and he says, "Here's the note," and Gabriel doesn't even need to see Tobias, and he goes, "Okay, I got it all. Yeah, ready to hand it back over, right?" And most likely Gabriel had all this stuff because we have to remember where Tobit actually is. Is a prisoner or slave servant in Nineveh, right? Under the rule of someone else, not Israelites. So an exile, right? He's in exile, and here's Gabriel and just trusts, right, that Azarias, right, is really happy, was sent by Tobias, and Tobias was sent by Tobit, and then they meet up, and sounds like, wow, here's another some commoner, Gabriel, a righteous one, and following the covenant that God had made with the Israelites such a long time ago. It's just looked at as a tale. Yeah? Why? Why is that? Hmm. Well, it's a good tale. That's all I have to say. And it's a short one. Well, this was a short one. Hardly any of it there. I could go on with 10, but we already know what's going to happen. Somehow I could separate it out again. Mm. Uh, all right. So I'll bring this up just to kind of as a warning out there for parents, or something that I found very odd. The children here were into watching a show, and this is not the first time I've seen this show, and I'm not going to mention what it is because, again, that's not. Uh, it's kind of weird. If people don't kind of realize what's going on, I can't help that, but I'm noticing. And in this show, there are about 4 or 5 adults, and it depends. Sometimes it's just two, and they're playing kids' games. All kinds of hide and seek, or this or that, or they just do stuff. But they're playing. Adults playing like kids. And it's a very famous show. Uh, Millions of kids are watching, and maybe adults too, watching that show. Did you just hear what I said? I know that if I would have let them, they would have sat there for hours and hours watching that show where guys, adults, were playing, just playing like kids, all this different stuff. Children sitting on a couch watching adults play what they should be playing outside. Are you getting my drift now? Mm. The show overstimulates children, and my grandson, who's very sensitive to obviously overstimulation, he gets headaches, and his parents are aware of that. So okay, he doesn't really get to watch that show, but sometimes he does. So anyway, I let them. I thought, well, I mean, they're allowed, just not. And it took very little time after an already busy day that we had for him to get overstimulated and get that headache that he had a couple of days ago. And I realized, nope, we're done. And I talked to all of them about it, and I said, you do realize that that doesn't make sense that you're sitting as a child, as children, on the couch watching this show, because you're supposed to be out there playing these games, not watching adults play them. Yes? I think that with many other shows, it's the same thing for children. And so I've decided that when we do need that break in the middle a little bit, I've noticed we are so busy. We do so many things all day long, physically, this, that the children do need. They're exhausted. I could tell that the end of the last week, they were exhausted. Uh, Maybe not used to doing so much all day long. Well, what do they do in school? How many hours are they sitting on a desk? That's not normal either until you get older, right? So I realized, wow, they're having a hard time. They're actually getting really exhausted. So that little 2 hour right, siesta time during the hottest part of the day, uh, I decided that I will be the one from now on who will choose what they're watching. Done. Yes? Regardless, son. Oh, but mommy said or daddy said. And there's so many good older movies with a good, just good, healthy, just good, healthy um, lessons, this, that, and yeah. How about Lassie? You guys remember Lassie? Yeah, such a great show. Um, anyway, so that's what we're doing. And now yesterday I chose one for them, and they liked it. They actually did uh, sit and relax and talk a little, like I do like to talk when the movie's going. Say, oh look, I wonder why they're doing this. They did that. I heard them. But it was, I could tell this was a relaxed, it wasn't all suddenly where they were all like, oh, right? Watching this other show that I realized also that I could tell I was in here and the door was open. It's kind of, when the lights are off, it's kind of dark out there, on how the flickering was constantly going. I said, man, that can't be good for them. It just, so, yeah, well, I, I've just been around them now for 3 weeks, right? 2 weeks, really, when it comes down to it, with all of them. And I kind of have to get back into the groove of, okay, I'm not just here to take care of my grandchildren, this and that. I gotta watch too. What is good and healthy for them, right? Not just when it comes to food, but also otherwise, right? And find that balance. And I wonder if the other parents out there, grandparents, when, hey, the easiest thing is you just have the TV be the babysitter or the games, is if they realize how destructive some of these shows that, oh, yeah, but it's just fun to watch. But how does that make sense? For children to sit on a couch watching others, adults, not even children, adults, play like kids. I'm just saying. I just don't make sense. Anyway, yeah, weird. I'm not used to watching stuff like that. So to me, it's a lot of it is just weird that they're into, or that children are exposed to now. I don't know that from my own children. we didn't have. We had eventually a TV where you could watch videos, but no channels. We had no channels ever. So, of course, that was very controlled. Right? Well, anyway, videos. We still had videos, and then DVDs. Well, anyway, so there it is. I thought I'd put that warning out there. Um, I my grandson having that headache was really. I felt like that was my fault. That I wasn't vigilant enough. Um, and since I grew up with migraines and headaches, I do not want that for any of my grandchildren. I didn't want that for any of my children. I don't want that for any of my grandchildren. I would not want any of them to suffer the way I did growing up as a child with that kind of pain. So, if I can figure out what it is, yes, then surely I'm going to make sure that I'm not exposing my grandchildren to things that mess with their head like that. Right? Yes? Yeah. Even if it's just, as I said, could be a perfectly fine show. This is a perfectly fine show. There's nothing untoward's going on. It's just in the way that it is presented. First of all, the odd thing of uh, children watching adults doing what the children should be doing outside or even inside. Right? But then the other thing, the stimulation, it's overstimulating. And these adults are overstimulating a child's brain with how they're fast they're going, and as I said, that flickering that's going on, and you know, it's too fast. And it's fine for adults to watch. We control that much better than a child. A child can't control that. It's like um, okay, that's a little odd one, but actually a really good example. Um, Poisonous snakes, adult snakes, they know that they control their poison, and they give off a controlled amount. If they bite and release poison, it's a controlled amount by the snake. But if it's a baby, younger one, they're more dangerous because they can't control their poison yet. And when they bite, they shoot everything they have into you, right? Or into whatever they're hunting. So it's the same for children. They can't control what's going into their mind. It just all jumbles up, builds up, and then overstimulates them. And that can cause physical pain. Right? Yes? Kind of an interesting one that, as I said, not something that I wanted my grandson to have to experience while with me, and me being that ignorant. So I have to, if I like it or not, I'm going to have to go and study up on movies and see what's actually why that is, how to recognize movies, not just with the content and this stuff, but also otherwise on what is not good for them. Huh? Man, I think I'll just start with Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. It's got to be, must be good. It has to be good. That's probably one of the best children's shows, in my opinion. But there too, right? Yes, yeah. We have a puppet theater here, so it's a good time to just relax a little during the day for a short amount of time. But really, when it comes down to it, these games, TV for children in general, is just poison, in my opinion. Said it. All right. Well, that's all I have to share. Mm. Mm. Yep, must do better. Must do better as the grandma. Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. Well, that's all I have to share today. May Heavenly Parent bless you and protect you, embrace you with love, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.